your days left unfound. There's no price that lies within the stillness. Are you speechless? Falls hides behind your endless secrets and your sadness. But you stand and you fight, 'cause you know that you're right. You were made by your pride, so there's nothing inside. Turn away, realize that there's no one inside. There's no one inside. Call out my name, call out my name. Hear the sound, it's so far away. So spend your tears left unfound. Drift inside your mind, all your dreams. The darkness deafening, the silence screams. No matter how much you scream out, no one's around. Call out my name, hear the sound, so far away. So spend your tears left unfound.
That song was Call Out My Name by Neverwake, and you are listening to the Pink Sock Podcast. Now, today's show is supposed to have Tony, but Tony's gone. He disappeared. But I have a special guest, a guy that is in that band Neverwake, Justin Sanford. Hello, Justin.
What's up?
This is a random, quick thing to throw together.
Hey, listen, wait. Some little wiener dudes and some giant trucks driving by.
I love little wiener dudes.
Hey, we're gonna be good friends then. Like I was gonna say though, there's nothing wrong with a good quickie, right?
Right, especially with little wiener dudes.
Exactly. Wouldn't want it any other way with one of those.
Just so that people know that is watching, he is not smoking a giant blunt. We figured that out before the show started. He is not Snoop Dogging it. That is a cigar. So what have you been up to in the lovely new world of TikTok and Tiger King?
Don't even get me started on that TikTok crap, man. I don't understand it, and I don't want to. Like, I don't know.
I joined the dark side. I created a TikTok.
Well, I think I'm probably going to have to end up doing it because like there's so many people going that direction, and now there's like bands that are using that platform, and it's working. People are getting out there, and so I'm probably going to end up having to do it, even though I don't want to. It's like one of those things. I'll do it, but I don't want to do it.
You sound like the grumpy old man. Them damn kids in their TikTok.
Oh, no, for sure, that's me for sure. But I'll tell you, there's one dude that I've been seeing whose TikToks, he's posting his TikTok videos on Instagram, and they're hilarious. That's Elias, the singer from Nonpoint.
Uh-huh.
Dude, his are outrageous. They're funny. If you don't follow Elias from Nonpoint on Instagram, you should.
I will. I'm not right now, but now I will.
Yeah.
There's actually a local singer. I'm going to give him a little shout out. He's on TikTok. James Keller of Dissension.
I know James. I've done some shows with James.
Yeah, he has a TikTok and it is hilarious. I actually did one with him. It's like him singing like some love song, and I have my shirt all tied up, and I'm like, he messaged me. He's like, "You're ate up, dude." Speaking of shows, what the hell?
No, wait a second. Before you said TikTok and Tiger King, the world of TikTok and Tiger King. So the hell with TikTok. We talked about that, but Tiger King, oh my God.
Right?
I mean, I know like the initial rage over that is kind of blown over by now, but it's still that insane. Like,
right? Like, how them people got away? Like, everyone got away with everything they did except for Joe Exotic.
Except for Joe. And listen, like the dude definitely did shady stuff. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But like, so did everybody else on there. Like,
right?
Jeff Lowe seems to be as shady as could be. That big dude with the weird long hair that runs the pawn shop or whatever the hell that is, he's crooked as could be. Like all of them, they're all dirty. And Carol, shit. I mean,
what's really fucked up though is
Tigers definitely ate that woman's husband.
The thing about that show is like, it shows how crooked the system is, because all these people ratted him out, so they got away with it scot-free.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah. And then now I see. I didn't like research it and like see how true it is or fact check or whatever. But now, are they actually talking about? Did I see a movie or something where Nicolas Cage is he's going to be Joe Exotic?
Nicolas Cage. If you had to pick, who would play who in the Tiger King movie?
Oh man, let me see. Wow.
Let's start with Joe.
King. Joe Exotic. I mean, we've seen David Spade do Joe Dirt, and I don't feel like that is a far fall like that to the other. I think David Spade could be Joe Exotic for sure.
When I saw that documentary, I'm like, that is David Spade as Joe.
Yeah,
Dirt.
Dude. He's Joe Dirt on a little bit more drugs.
A little bit.
Yeah.
How about who would play Carol Baskin?
Oh man, Carol Baskin.
Danny DeVito.
Carol fucking Baskin.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. I mean, it would be funny.
Either Danny DeVito or what's his name? Fuck. I'm thinking of Louis Anderson.
Yeah, I mean that could work. That could work. You know who could do it and bring like some comedy to the role. Oh man, I can't. That's terrible. I can't even think of her name. She's been in so many movies now. But the chick who got her start on like Mike and Molly. What the hell is her name?
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. She could do it. Put a blonde wig on her, and that'd be funny.
Or just dye her hair blonde.
Well, yeah, or that, whatever. Whatever's easier.
So who would play? I forget his name. I thought Rick, the guy that did the documentary.
Oh, Crocodile Dundee. That's who he reminded me of. He reminded me of like a C grade, like broke down ass Crocodile Dundee.
Did you hear that he said that he had to seek therapy after doing that show?
Yeah. I'm not surprised though. I mean, Jesus.
Well, did you hear what he said wasn't shown on that? He had footage of like Joe taking a horse and just shooting it in the head. Like,
yeah. It's absurd, man.
I would have what's his name? Sling Blade.
uh,
Oh, Bad Santa. What's his name?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Have Billy Bob Thornton play him.
Oh.
Let me tell you about this there Joe Exotic.
I have some French fried potatoes.
Actually, I think Joe Exotic should be played by Johnny Depp.
I mean, like he is so good at playing like crazy like characters. I'm sure he could do it.
Well, it's crazy because I don't know how true this is. I didn't really fact check this one, but I guess they interviewed Joe Exotic in prison, and he doesn't want Nicolas Cage playing him. He wants
Really?
He wants Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. He probably thinks he is Brad Pitt.
With all those photos of him, like I love how you're wearing your Neverwake shirt, but you didn't know you were wearing it.
No, I didn't. I got online with Mike here like a few minutes before the video, the live went up, and he's like, "Oh, nice self promotion there." And I was like, "Oh shit, you're right." Oh well.
I'm wearing my Bisto Blanco shirt, which, if you read it, who is the fuck is Bisto Blanco? When I talk,
so answer that for me. We were talking about that before the feed started. I'm not familiar with them yet. So who is the fuck is they?
Well, Bisto Blanco is Chuck Garrick, is on rhythm guitar and vocals. He's the bassist for Alice Cooper, and he also played bass for Ronnie James Dio and LA Guns. He's the vocalist. His vocal style is very similar to like Rob Zombie. So they're like a heavier rock sound.
Sure.
But Calico Cooper, Alice's daughter, is also in the band. She's another vocalist, and her vocal style is like similar to that of like Lizzie Hale.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that interesting combination.
Sounds like an interesting mix.
It's actually a very good band. You should check them out. They're like a mix of like Rob Zombie, Hailstorm, like depending on what song you listen to.
Right. Sure. Yeah. I mean, from that description, I think I would probably like it.
They're awesome. And also it's not official yet. I'm not saying this is official, but I saw an interview with Bisto recently, and our good friend Tony from Psalms of Silence also told me that they are working on rescheduling the Bisto Blanco show with Psalms opening for October. We don't know yet.
Where was that supposed to be? Was that that was Hard Rock?
I believe, I don't want to be quoted saying where it was at. I'll have to get more details. I believe
I feel like I remember seeing.
I think it was at the Craft House.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's where it was at. I'll post about it in the next coming months once it actually gets announced, but you should go.
We'll see what's going on if and when that happens.
If I was supposed to go to Louder Than Life and they canceled like that. Like,
hey, don't tell me about that. I know all about it, man. We had tour plans lined up and possible tour plans after that lined up and all kind of stuff, and
damn.
it's all down the shitter right now.
Well, Psalms of Silence was supposed to open for Bisto and then was supposed to play Wacken Open Air, or however you pronounce it, that big German festival.
Wacken, I think.
Wacken? That's what I thought, but people look at me funny when I say it that way. So, but
they're uncultured. They're uncultured swine.
But Psalms was not officially supposed to be there, but they were doing the Battle of the Bands. And they were told that that's canceled and they have to reschedule, they have to reapply to get re-chosen to do Battle of the Bands.
That's stupid. That's stupid.
I'm like, you should just choose this, because the first one I don't even think happened yet. So just choose the same bands.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It is really dumb. But back on who's going to play who on Tiger King.
Oh, careful.
Who would play who on Tiger King? Who's going to play Travis?
I guess my son is trying to join the chat.
Hi, little guy. Your hat's all sideways.
Say what's up, Liam.
Say
Okay,
what's
come
up. He's stealing the show. Oh no.
Oh, okay, what do you got? You're stealing all the M&Ms. Get out of here, M&M face. All right.
So cute.
Yeah. Do you want to borrow them?
No. Kids are cute unless they're mine. So, who would play Travis in the Tiger King movie?
Wait a second. Which
The one
that was one of the husbands, right?
Yeah, he shot himself.
Oh. Man, Travis.
Elijah Wood.
Well, wasn't he kind of like a tall, good looking, like in shape dude?
Yeah, not the no teeth one.
Right. How about Channing Taters? That could be fun.
Channing Tatum.
Tatum.
Have you seen This Is the End?
Yeah, it's been a long time. I seen it right after it came out.
Yeah, that scene where he's like, "You made Channing Tatum your sex slave?" Is like more like Channing Tatum. Okay, who would play what's his name? The guy with no teeth.
I mean, I did already say David Spade for Joe Exotic, so why not Rob Schneider? That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun.
Oh God. All I'm imagining, because Rob Schneider always plays the weird character.
Exactly, it'd be perfect. Like if he was kind of like the character that he played in 50 First Dates, that would be funny.
You know who should play Carol Baskin then? Nick Swardson.
Nick Swardson.
And fuck it, have Joe Exotic be Adam Sandler. Just making an Adam Sandler movie.
Or Adam Sandler could be Carol Baskin, but he could be Carol Baskin as the voice of no, they're all gonna laugh at you. No.
That is hilarious.
That might be fun.
So, have you seen any other movies lately that is as crazy as that one? Well, it was a series, but
series as crazy as Tiger King. I mean,
no.
No, I mean, I guess not. I mean, because like that show is insane and it's all real, so like it's really ridiculous.
Do you want?
I've watched some good stuff, but like, I mean, what's up?
Did you want a documentary? What? It's not a series. It's a documentary, but it's a documentary as crazy, if not more crazy than Tiger King, and it was 100% real.
What?
Jim and Andy. It's a documentary about Jim Carrey when he did Man on the Moon.
Yeah, I started watching that. I didn't finish it. I forgot about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect when I was getting into it. When I started watching it, I didn't know was it supposed to be, if it was a joke, if it was real. It was I never watched that. What it was about. God.
Man on the Moon is. Have you seen Man on the Moon yet? It's about the comedian Andy Kaufman. It is a It is a real life movie. Well, Jim Carrey wanted the role, but they didn't want him to be Andy, so he had to audition, and he got the role, but he wouldn't be called Jim during the filming of the movie or backstage. He had to be called Andy Kaufman 24/7.
Yeah, like he never broke character. It was insane.
He even invited Andy's daughter to rekindle the relationship between Andy and Andy's daughter. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, if you're not familiar with Andy Kaufman, he got into a fight with Jerry the King Lawler back in the day. And Jim Carrey, as Andy, tried fighting Jerry the King Lawler because he was casted to play himself in the movie.
I think I remember seeing that on the Netflix thing, that documentary.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, he lost his mind during that.
You want to know another documentary that is wild? Are you familiar with Amazing Jonathan?
Not at all.
He is a comedian, magician, and he's really good friends with Chris Angel. And he's been on his show, and he's had all these accolades. He's met presidents and shit. Well, he was told 6 years ago, I think it was, that he had a year left to live. And he retired from magic and shit. And then he goes on his farewell tour 5 years later. And this guy is trying to document him, but he finds out that he hired another documentary crew to film him at the same time. There was like 5 or 6 documentary crews at the same time.
Oh my God.
And he's like, fuck it. Why not? I'm dying anyway. So
yeah, really. Why not?
So he hired all these people, and 2 documentaries came out the same year, by the way. Only 2. And Amazing Jonathan in the film was filmed smoking crack out of a crack pipe. And he said, the only way you can film me is if you smoke it with me. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Watch it.
Man.
It's on Hulu. It's called The Amazing Jonathan Documentary. It is wild. It is wild. And then, spoiler alert, the kid smokes it with them, and then Amazing Jonathan says, oh, you can't film me doing it.
Oh, dick move. Wow.
Oh, another really good movie to watch. I don't know what it's on, if anything. The Bill Murray stories.
No, I haven't seen those.
It's just a documentary movie. It's about like 2009. These stories started coming out about Bill Murray showing up at random places, doing random things, and nobody knew if they were real or not. So this guy's trying to get to the bottom of it, and he finds out they're all real. And he's trying to find the man himself, but he can't find him. And the only way to contact Bill Murray, he has no agents, he has no manager. He has a 1-800 number that goes straight to voicemail, and he will get to you or he will not get to you. And he interviewed a very famous director that had him in a movie, and she's like, he never answered. It took me a year to make the movie.
Wow.
But some of the stories, like this college party was going on, and this guy that owned the place that the party was going on at went to the kitchen, and there's Bill Murray in his kitchen. He don't know why, talking to 2 girls, and then starts doing his dishes. I'm like, what? But like
good old Bill Murray.
Well, he'll do stuff like that, and occasionally he will look at people and be like, no one is going to believe you, and then he'll disappear. He will leave. Like he was at a bar one time, covered this guy's eyes while he's at the urinal, whispered in his ear, nobody will believe you. And the guy turned around, there's Bill. He waves and leaves. Yeah, you should watch it. It is wild. Like there's like at least 5 or 6 stories in there, and they're all real.
That's crazy.
And there's picture proof that they're all real and video proof. Like this guy,
awesome.
This guy was like, I'm friends with Bill, and he just showed up at my house and started eating dinner with me. I guess Bill knocked on his door, walked in, and sat down and ate. One of the guys is a good friend of his, told a story about Bill. He's like, Bill Murray would call me at weird hours of the night because my wife was in Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. And he would call at like 3 a.m. and be like, your wife is on TV fucking Patrick Swayze. And then he'd hang up.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
And he said it got real bad because all of his friends in Hollywood started doing it, and they'd call it like 4, 3, 2 in the morning, like different hours of the night.
That's
Like,
messed up, and I love it.
right? Well, what is messed up when you're on a show called the Pink Sock Podcast?
It's all fair game, man.
Do you know what a pink?
What's that?
Do you know what a pink sock is?
Unfortunately, I do.
Have you seen one?
Not in person, no.
I was waiting for you to be like, no comment.
Not in person, no. No, I have not.
Would you like to see one?
Yeah, show me yours. Let's see that baby. Come on.
It looks like an Arby's melt.
Mike, he has the meats.
Inside out meats.
Yeah.
So is there anything like going?
It looks like a blown out raw roast beef sandwich.
Looks like somebody shot a shotgun up inside of it. So anything going on with Neverwake during this whole pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, there's always something going on. I mean, we might not be able to be out touring right now, which kind of was the plan. We're no shows, no touring, obviously, and that's a major bummer. But there's always something going on. We never quit writing or working. I mean, we're always working on something. We have a bunch of stuff we've been working on. We've been trying to get something out for the Sleepwalkers. With all this shit going on and everybody being stuck at home, everybody being trapped inside. We've been trying to get something out, and everything that what's going on in the world is. It's the shit has rolled downhill to every facet of everything you could imagine. We've had setbacks with stuff we've been working on, and it's this I hate to say, because like I'm so over everything that has to do with coronavirus or COVID-19. Like we've done some live hangouts from the Neverwake page. Like we play games and do silly stuff and laugh at each other. And we made a rule, like during our live feeds, we would not say coronavirus or COVID-19. Like we're not gonna give any credit to it. We're just not gonna talk about it. But
my buddy Ryan Roxy, who has a podcast called In the Trenches, he has a rule on his show that we do not talk about the C word. And he's like, and I'm not talking about Cooper. But yeah.
I mean, so like we don't talk about Corona or COVID, when we do the Neverwake live stuff. But it has gotten to the point where COVID-19 has affected everything. Not only the touring and live shows aspect for bands, but for releasing material and stuff. It's gotten to the point where it's affecting that, and it's just crazy, man. We have been working really hard on some stuff that we've been trying to get out for our fans, and that's about the extent that I can go to with that. We're working hard. We have some really cool stuff for the Sleepwalkers that we're going to be talking about as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys thought about doing, like a lot of bands are doing live stream concerts? Have you thought about going that route?
We have. We've thought about it. We've talked about it. One of the things that's kind of put a damper on that. We actually all live. Well, not all of us. We live. There's 4 of us in Neverwake. For those of you who aren't familiar, and we live in 3 different states. I live just outside of Pittsburgh, right in Pennsylvania. Marcus and Johnny both live in West Virginia, and George lives in Ohio. The thing with Johnny's wife is a doctor, or I said wife, is a fiance, the same thing, whatever.
Same.
She's a doctor, and he's kind of like got to be. He can't leave like the state. They with her being a doctor, he's not allowed to come like back home to Ohio to do stuff with us because it could put her in jeopardy of possibly being infected. And so we've been staying away from each other. Unfortunately, it's been tough. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we've talked about. We would like to do something like that as soon as possible, because we know that even once everything is loosened up or lifted. I mean, a lot of places are they are getting more back to normal. But like here in Allegheny County, right outside of Pittsburgh, PA, we're still in yellow. So like there's a lot of stuff still closed down, a lot of regulations and stuff. But even when stuff gets back to normal, it's going to be a while before like touring in the music industry like gets back to normal. So we are talking about some things that we're going to try to do as soon as we can, for sure. Because like I said, it's going to be hard for everybody to get right back to shows and everything. So we do have some stuff we're trying to work out.
Yeah, because it's hard to like know when is the right time, and we don't want to rush into anything, but we don't want to.
Absolutely. I mean, it's tough. All of us, fans and musicians alike, we all want to get back to shows. We all, and Neverwake, we all miss our fans. We miss the Sleepwalkers so much. It's ridiculous. We went on the tour last spring and came home. We had a little string of shows, around the local area the rest of the year last year. And, the idea was to get back out on tour this spring. And we're just killing us, man. Like,
I bet.
We were like kind of taking a break from shows after, I think the Sleepwalker Ball was the last show that we played live. Oh God, that's terrible. So we did Sleepwalker Ball, which is our annual Halloween benefit for Children's Hospital. We did that at the Hard Rock, and then we were taking time off from live shows to wrap up and finish up the EP, the new EP, Misguided, which you can pre-order on our website, neverwakemusic.com. We're working on buttoning that all up and getting that ready to release this spring, and then we're going to go out, hit the road, and support of it. And then it's all gone to shit. But
you can only do what you can do. We're all in this together.
yeah. I mean, it sucks, but like you said, there's only so much we can do.
What's crazy is I got a notification on my phone, 2 in the same day. One said your Megadeth Lamb of God show was changed to 8 p.m. to 2 p.m. And then later on that day, they're like, it was canceled. I'm like, or rescheduled.
Canceled. Dude, I was looking forward to that show so bad. So bad.
Well,
there was actually
my thought was what is changing it to 2 p.m. gonna do?
Nothing.
Is the virus afraid of the dark?
Listen, this is not good. I'm out of whiskey.
That's not good. I haven't had wine. I haven't had wine in like a month. I haven't had wine in a few months. I'm a wine drinker. Don't look at me like that. Oh,
you need to get your life straight, bro.
There's nothing straight about me.
We know, and that's why we love you.
Oh, did you happen to check the first episode of the Pink Sock podcast?
Which one was the first one?
We did one last Saturday at 8 p.m. We do these every Saturday.
I checked that one. I was messing with you off and on the whole time.
Oh, that's right. Did you hear the story that Tony told about the bassist and the drummer of Psalms?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
They almost got their dicks sucked by Kyle Gass.
Yes, I did.
Would you have done it?
What? Take a blowy from some dude that looks like Kyle Gass?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on if he was going to tell anybody or not.
Let's say he don't.
No. I mean, he could at least be a good-looking guy, not Kyle Gass.
So, like John Stamos. Random question, since this is a fucked up show. Would you have sex with actress Betty White?
That's a question?
Would you? You have to, out of respect, right?
Out of respect. Well, probably. Oh, hi, wifey. Probably out of respect to the wifey. Out of that respect, probably not. But in that theoretical world, Betty White. I mean, I guess you'd have to if that opportunity presented itself, right?
Right. That's like being offered to see the Rolling Stones live.
I couldn't help but think of. You remember Lake Placid when Betty White is like, "If I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck it."
I find that movie crazy that she's like the killer.
Yeah. Hey, I like that movie.
I've only seen it once. I got to see it again because it's been a while. So, is there any good movies that you recommend during this whole thing?
Good movies. Let me. I've actually been watching like a lot of Netflix and stuff because I've been home. Like, obviously, I mean, like my wife is able to work from home with what she does for a living. I'm a machinist. Like, I obviously can't do machining from home. Well, I mean, I could, but I don't have a CNC machine myself. But I've taken on the role of being a homeschool teacher for my boy. Mm-hmm. So like that's my focus during the day is taking care of the boy, and we do school stuff during the day and hang out and stuff. But I've also been able to watch a lot of Netflix and stuff like that. I've been watching a lot of good stuff. I mean, if you're into like that fun, like young, adventurous, like gold hunting, drugs and love and all stuff. I just watched Outer Banks. That was fun. I liked Outer Banks. Did you watch that yet?
I've not seen it yet. It's weird because I should be watching movies and stuff, but like I've been listening to music and listening to podcasts.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not wrong. That's a fun series on Netflix. Like it's got it all. It's got murder and drugs and sex and treasure hunting. It's got it all. It's fun.
That sounds like a Neverwake show.
Yeah.
Why is there treasure hunting at a show?
If you have to ask, then you wouldn't understand. I mean, this might blow a lot of people's minds. I have never seen all of the Star Wars movies. I've only seen the original 3, which is what, episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
The original 3. I've only ever seen those, and that was like a long time ago when I was younger. So we recently got Disney Plus, and I have been starting to catch up on that whole saga. Man, there's so much though. I have been watching a lot of good stuff, but it's slipping my mind at the moment.
So do you plan on giving the prequel trilogy a shot?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch it all. I actually started the first one of those. The Phantom Menace?
Phantom Menace was the first one, I believe.
Yeah, I started that last night. I watched about half of that before I was passing out. I had to go to bed.
Yeah, the Phantom Menace was the first one. I feel really bad that I had to think about that.
Well, see, it's weird. Like, I saw the original 3 years and years and years ago, and I knew that those were like, I'm not completely ignorant of what's going on with Star Wars. Like, I know that even though those are the original 3 movies, that like in the timeline, they're not, the first ones. Right. So I was like, all right, I'm going to look up what's the best order to watch these in, because there probably is.
There is.
Yeah. Well, I thought I got the list. It was like set me on the right path, and I started watching them. And it's like watch episode 4, then watch Rogue One, then watch episode 1. So like, it kind of jumped around a little bit, and it said like this is the best way to watch Star Wars. So then we were supposed to play with Saul last year, mm-hmm. and the show that we were supposed to do with him got canceled, but we were, I'm friends with a couple of those guys on Facebook now. And it was late last night. I had posted, all right, I've watched, this, and this, and I'm working on Phantom Menace now. And a couple of people are like, what the hell? That's a terrible order for you to be watching those in. And Will from Saul is one of the. He's like, dude, that's a terrible list. What are you doing? He's like, you got to watch it in this order. And I was like, where were you at a month ago when I started watching this crap, dude?
I usually watch 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and then I just watch the other ones as like a backtrack.
Yeah, I mean, they said a couple of people agreed now that I should be watching, 1, 2, and then something else, and then 3, and then 4. I'm like, but wait, the thing that I was following saying, not to watch the prequels first, because then, I mean, I've seen 4, 5, and 6. I already knew that Vader was Luke's dad. But if you watch the 1, 2, and 3 first, that it would blow that surprise, that Vader was his dad. So I was like, okay, cool. Even though I already know that, I'm gonna watch it like this, and apparently I'm still wrong.
Let's be honest. Anybody who knows Star Wars, well, everybody knows that plot twist because it is the most quoted.
Yeah. I mean, but okay. Here's something else. When I was watching this round through episode 4, I was thinking to myself several times through, man, am I the only guy that thinks Luke Skywalker is a real bitch? Like, he was like crying the whole movie about everything.
Right.
I was like, man, it's been a long time since I watched these. I hope his testicles drop soon, because like he's a little girl right now.
Speaking of Star Wars, you know what the most toxic thing ever is? A hardcore Star Wars fan. They hate everything but the original trilogy.
Really?
Yes. I got in an argument with this guy. They're like, well, the prequel sucked because of Jar Jar Binks. I'm like, the prequel trilogy would have been better if you let him do the writing and shut up, because people hated on the prequels and he changed the storyline. The original idea for Star Wars, and people argue with me on this, there's no real backing to this other than George Lucas saying Jar Jar Binks is behind all this. But the whole theory is that Jar Jar was supposed to be revealed as being the Sith Lord of the prequel trilogies. He was just acting dumb this whole time, which was kind of a dark side version of Yoda, because when Yoda was first introduced, he was the stumbling idiot.
Yeah.
Which I think would have been a perfect plot twist. You know the stumbling idiot you guys hate? He's not bad. He's actually bad.
Right.
And then they hated the prequels because it wasn't like the originals. Then they released the new trilogy and they hate it because it's too much like the originals.
Well, I did watch, before I started this whole quest to watch like the whole saga, because it was on Netflix. I did watch Solo a while back.
It's so good.
I like that one. That was a good one.
You get to see the Kessler run in like in its entirety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love there's one Star Wars movie I don't like, and it was, I forget the name of it, the one before Rise of Skywalker. That one was all right, but here's the issue. They changed directors. And so that one had a different director, and then the last one had the same director as the first one. So that guy was basically fixing everything this guy fucked up.
Sure. I started Phantom Menace last night, but I watched Rogue One yesterday. Rogue One was badass. I did like that one a lot.
It's so good. Well, I guess we're getting are you familiar with Clone Wars, the series?
No.
Clone Wars takes place after, I believe, Attack of the Clone. It's an animated series.
Yeah.
Disney is doing a final season of the Clone Wars.
Okay.
They're also The Mandalorian. You need to watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah, no, like my 5-year-old, like he's never watched any Star Wars movies, but I was watching episode 5 a little bit this morning. Was that this morning? What's it's when Luke is training with Yoda, and he's like, "Oh look, it's Baby Yoda." I was like, "It's not Baby Yoda." But how do you know that? You've never watched any of it.
Well, what's crazy about Mandalorian is a lot of people don't realize that that's not Baby Yoda. That's the same species as Yoda. Mandalorian takes place after Yoda had already died.
Oh,
Mind blown. It takes place after episode 6, I believe. It's a really good series.
Thanks for the spoiler, bro.
Well, it's not a spoiler because if you look up the description, they say that.
Oh.
We don't know who Baby Yoda is yet.
Oh. Okay.
I don't give away Star Wars spoilers because I hate them.
Yeah, spoilers suck, man.
Have you seen Rise of Skywalker yet?
No. Oh, here's one we just finished. We watched first we saw the first, well, not the first, the reboot it after it came out. It was good, of course. It was a good movie. But we just now finally watched, me and a wife, we just watched It 2 or Chapter 2 or whatever the other night, and it was entertaining, but
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't say much more than that. It's worth watching. It's worth watching. But there was some shit that takes place in it Chapter 2. We literally like looked at each other and we're like, what? But it's good. It's good.
I was weird and skeptical. I ain't seen the first It yet because I was just skeptical because I'm like, how can you replace Tim Curry?
Oh, you didn't see either of them?
No, I don't want to. I plan on it.
The first newer one, it's really good, in my opinion. And the second one, the final chapter, it chapter or It 2, the final chapter, whatever the hell it is, I don't know. To me, the first one's better, but the second one's still good, still worth watching.
I'll have to check both of them out. Are they on Netflix or anything?
No.
I'll go digging on the dark web.
I think we signed up for I think we signed up for a 7-day HBO trial or something and watched It 2. I think is where we got it.
It might be on. I love how we're saying it, but we're not meaning it, but we are meaning it.
Yeah.
But I think it might be on Comcast, and we have Comcast on demand. So
okay, right on.
I'll check it out.
But hey, that can circle back to some music stuff. Speaking of It, did you ever get to check out the Ice Nine Kills, their last record, the Silver Scream?
I checked out a couple songs because I got like their music videos popping up on Audiovane's site, and I love what I've heard.
Yeah, dude, that awesome concept record. Like, of course, the music itself is awesome, but I love the concept. You know, all being different horror movie themes. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Ice Nine Kills has always been incredible, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they're a good band for sure. We did. It was weird because it was in the same venue, but it was two different rooms within the same venue. It was a handful of years ago. We played Launch Music Conference over in Lancaster, PA.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing with upstairs, which is the Chameleon Club, and then we were playing downstairs, and I forget the name of that room. It's in the same building, but there's a different club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forget the name of the room that we were playing in. I was bummed. I was like, dude, I wish we were playing upstairs, opening for them. But we actually, because like Launch Music Conference is a big deal. It's like all a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and like it takes over the entire town of Lancaster, PA. It's just like shows everywhere, and music conference stuff going on. And it was the first day of the conference. Me and Johnny went down early. We got the day off and went down and we were there just walking around all over Lancaster. And I think we were out trying to find a liquor store. We were trying to buy whiskey.
Of course you were.
If you don't know Neverwake, we love whiskey. We drink whiskey like it's water, pretty much. But no, we're walking around Lancaster trying to find the liquor store, and we saw the guys from Ice Nine Kills just walking down the street. And hey, what's up? We're fans. We're actually playing with you, but not playing with you later tonight. And they were cool. Spencer was the singer. He was the only one that really talked there. He was cool. They were nice guys.
Oh, that's badass. I like when musicians are nice. I hate hearing
it's a plus when they are, yeah.
I have yet, knock on wood, to meet a musician that has been an asshole.
Okay, so I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but I have one experience with a famous guy that was not pleasant. But I from what I hear, it wasn't the norm for this guy. So everybody else says that he was a treat to be around. But it was, I believe it was an Ozfest. I think it was a long ass time ago. We were leaving the show out at Post Gazette. I don't know why I'm pointing.
Like it's over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, anybody that lives close to me would know that Post Gazette literally is just right over there a little bit, like 10 minutes away. But anyways, we're at Ozfest, Post Gazette, right? It's right back there.
I thought you were just telling people that Ozfest was in your backyard.
Oh, well, basically, I mean, it's only about 10 minutes right over that way. But we were leaving the show, walking out through, headed back to the parking lot, and all of a sudden there was Wayne Static with his who would become his wife, the former porn star chick. Was that
what was her name?
They were married when he died, but I don't think they were married yet at that point. I forget her name.
I want to say her name was Tara.
Yes.
But I forget her last name.
I don't remember. But anyways, we're walking up out of there, and there was a group of people I was with, and there was another group of people, and we're like, "Oh, that's Wayne Static right there? It's Wayne Static." So a couple of us broke off and tried to go "Hey, what's up, man?" We weren't gonna bother him. We just wanted to say hey,
Mm-hmm.
And it was clear that him and his woman were having an argument. A dude that was from a different group that was just in front of me kind of got up to him before we did, and he's like, "Yo, Wayne Static," and I mean, if he was having an issue with his girl, I can understand being in a bad mood, but he could have handled it a little better. He was pretty rude to the guy. He was like, "Back off, man. Not now. Just not now." And just blew the dude off and kept going. I was like, okay.
It's weird because I haven't met a lot of famous people, but I've met wrestlers, I've met musicians. So far, nobody's been an asshole. But
You're lucky.
I did meet a pro wrestler that I was told is an asshole, and he wasn't to me. So
really,
I don't know if you're familiar. Huh?
Who?
New Jack.
No.
He wrestled.
I'm not enough of a wrestling fan to know who that is. I mean, I know the big names, of course, probably, but
he wrestled for ECW, and he's most known for stabbing people in the ring.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good gimmick.
If you don't work well with him, he will either stab you or he will throw you off of high objects.
Well, he sounds like a good guy.
He's nice to people that are nice to him.
Oh, okay.
In his defense, these people were in wrestling, there's this huge respect thing where if you approach a legend and you tell them, "Hey, I want to get an upper hand on you," or "I want to do this or that," that is disrespectful.
Sure.
And both people, all three people approached him and said, "Hey, I want to get an upper hand. I want to bleed." And he's like, "Oh, you'll bleed."
We can make that happen.
Because I don't know, in wrestling, they put a razor blade in their finger. And this guy, some kid was like, "I want to bleed in the ring with you." He's like, "Okay." He pulled out a surgical scalpel and started cutting this kid's forehead. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, he was an all right guy.
Yeah. Hell of a nice guy, just misunderstood.
However, I usually I understand musicians are people, they have their off days. So I'm not going to fault anybody for an off day, but I try to
I'm sorry.
avoid the musicians that are always assholes to people. Like,
Yeah. Well, there was something that like we learned with our first national tour last spring. We've played a ton of shows here in the home base in the Pittsburgh area, opening for national bands, and being the local opener. We've done that a ton of times. And 99% of the time, everybody that we've worked with or opened for has been nice. My God, like Devour the Day. Are you familiar with those guys?
I am familiar with them. Yes.
Super, super nice. Like Blake, the singer, one of the nicest people we've played with. Like at the Hard Rock, there's not really a green room at the Hard Rock Cafe, but there's like that little auxiliary extra dining room back by the kitchen that they'll use if they need extra tables. But when there's shows there, they'll like block it off and bands can have it as a green room. And they had I think they were in a Mercedes Sprinter. So like they're like, no, that's okay. The local bands can have the green room, and we'll just use the Sprinter. But Blake came back and was actually like hanging out in the green room with us and bullshitting with us. Just super nice guy. But there was an experience or two that was not pleasant. I'm not gonna talk about who, because it doesn't matter. It was in the past, and I'm not trying to. Sorry, my boy's talking to me.
You're good.
I'm not trying to shit on anybody. But there was a band we played with, and there was like weird stuff that happened over the green room. And like after we went and did our first national tour last spring, we're like, wow, man, it's not okay for a bigger band to treat local bands like shit. It will never be okay. But after like living on the road, I mean, we toured our tour was 5 weeks last spring. So after living on the road and getting to a venue where like you get a nice green room and you just want to relax and chill a little bit and hide away for a little bit, it's like you totally understand those bands that like when you see them, they're like maybe not the most outgoing, like at first. It's hard to explain, I guess, maybe, but it's like you get it. I get it now.
There's those musicians though that are known for being assholes, and I think those ones might do it on purpose. For instance, not to mention any names, but the singer of Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah, who's that? Who's that guy?
I've heard weird stories because I've met people that have met him, and they were like, "Yeah, he's an asshole 24/7."
Really?
Like he tries to have fun, but he's having fun at other people's expense.
Yeah. I mean, and like some of the stuff that we've bigger things that we've been blessed to be able to do so far. We've gotten to meet some bigger people, and it's been really cool seeing like how cool they are for the most part. Like God, it's been way too long. We did Carolina Rebellion in 2015, and we were the opener of the Reverb Nation stage. Reverb Nation chose us. It was like a contest thing to play the stage, open the stage that day. And like Islander was on after us, Testament was on that stage. A couple of awesome bands like on the same stage as us. But Cheap Trick lined that stage. And obviously there's no green rooms at a big festival like that. What they had was little, like, you ever go by a construction site and you see like the little wee, like, it looks like a mobile home, but it's a little wee, like, miniature version of like a mobile home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a little trailer. They had like a handful of those. And they would have like two bands per one of those, sharing them as little like green room trailers. So we shared one with Islander. Those dudes were all cool. And all the dudes for Cheap Trick, we're just like out there like hanging with people. They were in their wild stage costume, and Rick Nielsen, the guitar player for Cheap Trick, is out there in his stage gear, brushing his teeth watching the bands play from like backstage, brushing his teeth, and we're like, this dude's cool.
Can I say how much I love festivals? Because you just said that
dude.
that Testament and Cheap Trick.
Testament and Cheap Trick on the same stage.
Speaking of Testament, have you heard their new album?
No, I have not.
Do it.
Then we like the same day. I mean, I've been a huge Papa Roach fan since Infest came out. Like when that CD came out, you know, all those 20 or 21 years ago, whenever that came out.
20. I believe it's 20-year anniversary this year.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, like I always liked the music, but with that CD, like at that stage of my life, you know, there was stuff I was facing and going through, and there's a lot of the lyrical content on that CD. It just like it stuck with me, and I connected to it, and I've been a big fan of Papa Roach ever since. And we were backed by the catering tent at Carolina Rebellion, which was massive, like this huge tent with food and drinks for days. We ate lunch beside Hollywood Undead, and
That's cool.
we didn't talk to those guys. We did eat lunch beside them. But we were walking by the catering tent, and there were some media trailers where like bands were doing interviews and stuff. And I saw Jacoby from Papa Roach come out of a media trailer, and I was like,
do I go over there or do I not?
the fanboy saying you got to do it. So I was like, yo, Jacoby, what's up, dude? I'm a big fan. Can I grab a picture real quick? And he's like, absolutely, brother. And he like ran over, put his arm around me. We took the picture. Super cool. Super nice guy. And then like we watched
I've heard that about him. He's a very nice guy because I guess every single year for Rock on the Range, he's been there, whether he's playing or not. And a lot of people I know have ran into him in the crowd.
He was super nice when I met him. Like, you know, he could have been a dick. Like, he could have been like, no, sorry, dude. But he's like, yeah, man, come here. And he like put his arm around me, took the picture. But we watched Motionless in White from side stage that day. Talked to most of them. We didn't talk to all of their guys, but they were super. Chris was super nice. When I talked to him, like, you know, if you listen to Motionless in White, you'd expect Chris to be like this, you know, like this. I don't know, like maybe that's just me, but he's like got this really big voice, and like,
yeah,
you know, the way, you know, his screams and his growls are, like you'd expect him to be this like tough dude or whatever. But when I talked to him, he was just like real low key and real chill. And I was like, hey man, your guy's set kicked ass. You know, it was awesome and whatever. He's like, oh, thanks, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, man. You know, I really appreciate it. I was just like, wow, I was kind of surprised. But say like Periphery guys, we got to watch them and talk to a few of them. They were all super cool. So it's always nice when you get to meet those people that you're a fan of, and you know, they haven't let it get to their head. They're, you know, they're still level. They're still grounded, you know.
So who is the nicest person you've ever met? Like big name act.
Man. Well, I mean, anybody that follows us knows that we've worked with John from Disturbed several times now. He recorded produced our CD, our EP Incinerate with us, and he produced the newest one that we're still working on releasing, Misguided. He produced that. He's, you know, as far as modern heavy music or hard rock goes, I guess he and Disturbed are about the height of where you can go with that. I mean, headlining arena tours, you know, but he's a super cool dude, super cool, super down to earth. A lot of fun to just party with. I mean, like when we're in the studio working with John, he's an absolute workhorse. He will work for like 16 hours and take a nap on the couch in the studio and just get right back to it.
Damn.
But he's a cool dude. But I mean, I gotta mention, if you're asking me, anybody that knows me knows I'm a diehard Zakk Wylde fan. That's my guy. He's the reason I play guitar. I'll say that. I got to meet him. I don't know. It was quite a few years back now. Maybe I don't know, but it was when the Black Label record Order of the Black came out, and they were touring Order of the Black. And they were here in Pittsburgh. It was when the Station Square Amphitheater was still open. Thanks to the Pittsburgh soccer team for screwing that up. I got to meet Zach that day, and that was an awesome moment because I'm such a big fan. So it was cool to meet Zach, and he was very nice, very cool. But it was funny though because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get to meet Zach. There's all these like I want to say this, I want to say that. Like I got up to him at the table. I got him to sign my shirt, and I was like, thank you.
You fanboyed out.
Dude, I failed so hard. But like he was super nice. So it was, but on the other hand, like I failed. All I said was thank you. But on the other hand, that's all I needed to say because his work and playing has been such an inspiration to me that thank you is all I needed to say.
It's always great to meet your idols because like the reason why I got into metal, I got into rock and stuff was Alice Cooper. And I actually have had the honor to meet Alice, all his bandmates and all of them. Alice is one of the nicest people I have ever met.
I've heard that.
It was funny because deep down, I'll admit this now, deep down, I was like, because I was young at the time and I'm like, it's Alice Cooper. But I got up there, and the only thing I could muster out at the time was, I'm not worthy.
Oh, my God. What did he do?
He was like, you're worthy. And he put his hand out.
I like it when they do that to Aerosmith and Steven Tyler's like, you're worthy. Get up.
Get up. But it's cool because like I've met him a few times now, so it's not really that weird anymore whenever I meet people. Because once you meet your idol a couple times, you can meet anyone.
Sure. Like, this was years ago, somebody I know, Alice Cooper was playing at the Civic Arena up in Erie, PA, and somebody I know had ran into him and his daughter at the mall up in Erie, and it said that they just saw him at the mall shopping with his daughter, and said that he was, it was quick, it was short and sweet, but that he was very nice to them.
Well, Alice actually frequents Pittsburgh, Erie, that little area around there, because he considers it his home away from home, from what I've heard. I heard that he actually will shop out there randomly when he's not touring.
Nice.
I was supposed to meet Ozzy Osbourne on his farewell tour, but he's like, oh, postponed due to Parkinson. And I'm like, okay, I understand. So
let me ask you though, which farewell tour was that?
It was the third leg of his No More Tours Part 2.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about what he did when I saw him? I went and saw him, and he came out, and the official shirt for this says No More Tours, and on the back it says, I'm not fucking kidding this time. Ozzy gets halfway through his set. Ozzy gets halfway through his set, and then he says, I want to clear up a room. This isn't my farewell tour. I'm just not going to do it all in one go anymore. I'm not retiring. All right, keep fucking playing. I'm like, what?
Dude, like, I am a huge Ozzy fan. I was raised on Ozzy. I love Ozzy. And I've seen him a handful of times. I would be honest. I was skeptical about trying to go see this tour. I mean, it was coming right here to post, that. Ozzy, Megadeth. I was like, I love Megadeth. I've never seen them. Somehow, I have to go to that show. It's like
you've never seen Megadeth?
No, but I really want to. But
you have to.
The last time I saw Ozzy, he had a bit of a rough night, and we actually left the show early because it was pretty disappointing to see somebody that you're such a fan of have a night like that. So I was skeptical about going to see this this newest No More Tours tour, whatever it is, with Ozzy and Megadeth, and But then, he got Zach Wild back playing with him again, and then Megadeth was announced. I was like, dude, I can't miss this now. I'm gonna go. And then, of course, shit hit the fan.
Well, I gotta say, don't be skeptical. I saw Ozzy 3 times in like a year or two period. I saw him once on an off night, and the other 2 nights was amazing. So,
well, that's another thing I was gonna say about that guy. Like, I've been a fan of Ozzy my whole life, and I think I know about him just enough to say that I don't believe the guy's ever going to truly retire. Like, he might not tour full time like he did when he was younger or whatever anymore. He might slow down, but I believe in my heart that guy is going to be somewhat active until he literally dies. He's not going to stop.
He's back in the studio again. Already. And the guy, I heard recently that when he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, it wasn't recently. He's been hiding it since 2003.
Yeah, when it came out, I was like, oh no, he's got, and then they're like, well, he's had it for 10 years. And I was like, well, that bastard.
No, he's had it for 20 years. He's had it since 2003. That's why he canceled half of Ozfest that one year. I'm like, but what's crazy is he got misdiagnosed with Parkinson's in 97, and then he found out he actually has it. Could you imagine that karma, finding out you have something, you don't actually have it, and then you actually end up with it?
No, I don't want that at all. It's terrible.
That's why he did the no more tours the first time, because he thought he was dying, and then he found out he's not. And then in 2003, he found out he actually has it, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna keep touring." But
I can't say one of the earlier times I saw Ozzy. I don't believe it was the first. It was for Osmosis. It was for that tour cycle. Zach and Ozzy wrote the record. I mean, Zach wrote and recorded Osmosis, but then he wasn't touring. He wasn't touring that part of it because he had, was that Pride and Glory going on at that point? Or was he? Yeah, it was Pride and Glory. I think he was pretty active with. So they got JoJo Holmes to fill in and tour, and the dude could play. Like he played well, but when we saw him, I don't know if dude had like stage fright or something, but he was like glued to his amps. Like he was facing his amps, the back of the stage, like glued to him. And at one point, Ozzy went back and grabbed by his head, grabbed him by his hair and drug him to the front of the stage. Awesome.
Osmosis, I have to say, is the most underrated Ozzy album.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's different, but like the songwriting is great on it. It's just awesome. I love that record.
Well, we're gonna have to cut this short because we are at an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, but we should do a part 2.
Absolutely.
Maybe Tony can join. Maybe Tony can join me next week. But if you want to do this next week too, we can.
Maybe I don't know what's going on yet, but I mean I'm open to doing this.
All right, the Pink Sock loves having guests. What?
How else did it get that way?
What kind of face was that? You're like, but is there anything? I know you have an EP you want to promote. Is there anything else you want to promote?
Well, I mean that. We have released a couple of singles off the new EP. We released, Call Out My Name is the current one that the video is out right now. That's the one we've been pushing right now. If you haven't seen and heard Call Out My Name, make sure you check out the video on YouTube. The single is available everywhere. You can stream it, download it everywhere. So put some spins on that on Spotify for us. The first single we
I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Call Out My Name was also played at the beginning of this podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. God bless you. Are You In There was the first single we released off of it.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
maybe to you. Which those are the first two we did. We did the videos to those ourselves, which was a lot of work we put into those, but it was awesome payoff. At the end, seeing how they came out. And we've got other stuff that we're working on that may or may not have to do with the same EP, which we are still trying to release as soon as possible. So I mean, that's all I can say at the moment. Really, is to watch our pages. Everything is at Neverwake Music. Our website is neverwakemusic.com. The socials are at Neverwake Music, as you can see. Right? Neverwake Music. That's for all of them. So if you follow us and like us on there, we will be talking about all that stuff, everything that's going on. We were, I think, planning on doing a live hangout session soon, where we're going to try to hit on what's going on and how this virus BS has affected everything that we're trying to do and that we're trying to move forward. And we can't wait to get back out with the Sleepwalkers.
If this goes too long, you'll end up turning that EP into an LP.
Dude, well, the funny thing is we never stop writing. We have a bank of songs that could be released. That's just ridiculous. Like we probably have, I mean, like there's the EP that's ready to be released, but we probably have at least a couple of full-length albums worth of music that we're always working on new songs.
Hey, you got to keep yourself busy. One more thing. Have you learned any new instruments while you've been quarantined?
Shit, no, I don't got time for that. I mean, you might think that you have time for that, but I am playing homeschool teacher and spending more time than ever with my son, which has been awesome. That has been a blessing. It's been awesome being able to hang out with my son as much as I have. But I have been playing more guitar. I've been trying to get better at that.
You got to learn the mandolin. Learn the mandolin.
I have played a mandolin, but I don't own one.
I've been trying to learn bass, and you figured I would have time for that, but I don't have the money for that. I need strings.
Bass strings are not cheap.
Also, I need an amp because my cousin blew my old one, and not in a good way.
That's fortunate.
Thank you for doing this, and you could stick on here. We could chat a little bit longer after we end this.
Okay.
But thank you for doing this, buddy, and we should do a part 2.
It's my pleasure. I was happy to do it.
Everyone, check out Neverwake at www.facebook.com/Neverwake Music, or you can check them out on Spotify or any other streaming services. You can also check out
everywhere.
You can also check out Pink Sock Podcast while you're listening to Neverwake. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember, live long and rock hard.